who are here, welcome. Um, I've been really enjoying Zoom yoga classes, both as a student and as a teacher. They're not as good as in person, especially because I like to adjust students during class. When they're in child's pose, I like to give them a little back massage. When they're laying down in Shavasana, I like to push in the shoulders. People tell me that that is good physical therapy for their shoulders. I can't do that through Zoom, but I can see them, I can hear them, we can interact. And so most of my classes are Zoom, and that number is 43. Okay, I don't have it quite memorized, but anyway, I think I do. I think it's 431-432-9648. But anyway, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Illinois, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I have Zoom classes, and they're all the same. You just go to zoom.us//join, and then type in my number, which I believe is 432-431-9648. And if you want to join those meetings, then we can interact. And that's where my heart is right now. I can do some more of these live streaming or uploaded recorded ones because I want to reach people everywhere. But I really would like to see you. So this was going to be my last Facebook Live streaming video. And that's for the what we just talked about. I don't want to just put these videos out there and not be able to interact with the people. I'd like people to join the Zoom classes. But what I had thought I could do is once a week record something from my heart and then just post it on Facebook at 9 a.m. or earlier on Fridays. So then people will get new weekly videos on Fridays, but they wouldn't necessarily be live. And so that's where we're at. If you're interested in joining any of the classes, Monday is the gentle yoga, and Tuesday and Thursday are a little bit more intermediate yoga therapy. My students in there have been with me for the most part for a year or so, but it's also available for all levels. If you are more advanced, we level it up. If you need modifications to make it more gentle, we do that. So all levels, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Wednesday is chair yoga. So if even gentle yoga doesn't sound good to you, and if you want to sit in a chair like I'm sitting right now and do the whole yoga practice, either sitting in the chair or maybe standing behind it holding on for support, Wednesdays are for you. Again, 9:30. So now that I'm done plugging my Zoom classes, which I love and I hope to see you in, I can say that also this yoga class, if you are comfortable doing this, you'll be comfortable doing any of those classes. So you can watch this one from the privacy of your own home. And once you feel like you've got it, join us in person, hopefully soon, or at least in Zoom. So, how we begin class, I need to stretch out. So, you can stretch out if you want to. Sometimes we're standing, sometimes we're sitting on a bolster or a block, like crisscross applesauce. Today, I am just sitting in a chair. And I want to show you sitting in a chair. My feet are flat on the ground. And this is comfortable for me because we start by going inward, and it's a little tiny bit of meditation. And so standing is okay, but you still have to hold yourself up. And sitting, if you're uncomfortable, you're not going to be able to meditate very well. So I ask you now, if you're doing this practice with me, to find a comfortable seated position. Ideally, your hips are a little bit higher than your knees, and your chair doesn't have arms so that you can do this with me as well. You're not running into arms on the chair. If you want to be sitting crisscross applesauce or standing, that's also fine. So I'm going to sit back a little bit so you can see my hands. So my hips are just a tiny bit higher than my knees, which is good for circulation. My feet are hip distance apart, flat on the ground. I'm actually kind of sitting on the end of the chair. Hands turned up helps open those shoulders. And chin in, tall through the crown of the head, starts to bring you back into a good seated posture. We're going to close our eyes and breathe deeply, noticing what we feel. So as you tune into yourself, you're just going to continue to observe your breath and observe your body Observe your body naturally shifting to improve its own posture. Kind of like a student, if you're watching them and they know it, they start to improve what they're doing. Your body and breath are the same way. So all you have to do is become the inner observer. You're going to not shut it off, but allow the brain to take a break right now. You're not doing anything. You're becoming that inner observer behind your thoughts, the one that can watch the thoughts. So you are not your thoughts. You are this inner observer. Thoughts are not needed right now. We're just going to observe our body and observe our breath. Rather than forcing the inhales to come, wait for it. It'll come on its own. Observe that inhale to completion. And again, don't push the exhale. Wait for it. It'll come. So in this way, we are allowing our natural rhythm to reset itself. Unhurried. Waiting for it, letting the breath take the lead and guide us through the rest of our practice and the rest of our day. Now, to support your breath after waiting for that inhale, you can gently come behind it and allow yourself to expand even more. And then when you allow the exhale to happen, you can gently pull your belly in, supporting that movement of the exhale. So we wait for it and we inhale, we allow it to be as full as it can be, and then we exhale and we naturally draw our belly in and up, which helps push that air up and out through our nose. Just no rushing, just keep waiting for it, supporting your breath to be as deep and slow as it can be. Now, if your chin is tucked in, you might hear this nice exhale sound in your throat. It's not something we force, but when we feel it, it's kind of a celebration because we hear it. We know where our chin is in far enough. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Now, observe your body in response to your breath. See how your body feels on those inhales compared to those exhales. Do you feel an expansion of your energy in your body on your inhales? And a contraction pulling in at the center on your exhales. I can feel my energy stretch out on my inhales and draw in and up with my abdominals on my exhales. I feel that energy, like even in my skin right here. I feel the energy expand, the prana expand on the inhales, and then exhale as it draws inward. It's like my energy shrinks into the center, and not in a bad way, in a positive, centering, grounding kind of way. See if you can feel that inhale, energetic stretch. Exhale, drawing inward. A few more times. And if you don't use your arms, if you just sit here still, then it's easier to feel that real subtle energetic stretch. Clearly, I didn't put my phone on silent. I apologize. Keep breathing, and I'll be right back. Okay, so when you're breathing and you're trying to feel that energetic stretch, notice if you feel any restrictions to that energetic stretch. Physiological restrictions like tight muscles and fascia will also create energetic restrictions. And so at some point, you might feel like there's places in my body that are expanding energetically on my inhale and exhale. And there's other places where it seems like I just can't send the breath through. I can't send the energy through because there's some restrictions. And that's the kind of thing we're going to work on in our yoga practice today, releasing those restrictions. And sometimes we can release them just by letting go. Perhaps you're holding, or I'm holding, tension unnecessarily in my body. And I can simply relax, starting at the top of my head. We're going to do all the way through the body and then recheck how this feels. We're going to relax the top of the head. We're not collapsing. We're sitting up tall. That belly is in. We're going to relax our face, relax our brain and our sinuses, our ears, our temples, our jaw. Relax your lips and your tongue and your throat. Relax with your exhales. Keep breathing deeply as you're scanning, relaxing your shoulders, your upper back, your arms, elbows, forearms, and wrists. Relax your hands, fingers, and fingernails. Inhaling relaxation back up to the crown of the head. Exhaling relaxation down to the face, down through the neck, through the chest and back, through the torso. So there's things we can do with less effort. We can still sit up tall, but we can notice, was this muscle over here holding unnecessarily? Are there things I can relax while still comfortably sitting up tall? Can you relax muscles in your pelvic floor, in your bum, and your thighs? You relax your knees, your shins and calves, ankles and feet, toes and toenails. Inhaling, relaxing your whole body on your exhale, drawing upward as that belly pulls up and in, but relaxing other things, feeling any restrictions that you can simply let go, let go. And once you've let go as much as you can, go back to your breathing, waiting for it, wait for it, follow it, support it, allow it. And after 3 to 5 deep supported breaths, slow and steady, see how your energy feels, if it feels any different now that we've relaxed. A gentle smile on your face helps you know you're relaxing. Do you feel lighter? Do you feel energetically a little bit more open and spacious after relaxing? I hope so. So now we're going to start to move. I'm kind of rocking the feet. I'm going to hand this down, see if you can see my feet. We're going to rock up onto the heels, stretching the toes, and then onto the toes. Inhaling, exhaling. Probably should be inhale stretching actually, because exhales in yoga are the contraction. We can even inhale, stretch, exhale. So you can see with chair yoga, there's a lot you can do. This is actually kind of hard. It takes belly strength, takes leg strength. So if you're not sure chair yoga is going to be right for you, there's lots we can do with chair yoga. I enjoy chair yoga as much as my regular classes, and I get as much out of it too, because we do more sitting like this, more meditating, and we definitely still Get some squeezes, some stretches, some joint mobility, some strengthening. And today is not meant to be a chair yoga class. We will stand up. But this is just kind of giving you a sample of the types of things that we do in that class. If you want to, you can put your foot down as you do your circles. You can stretch the inner thighs in and out. Hug. Now, if you're sitting, you can still do this on the ground, right? Lots of things you can do on the ground. If you're in a chair, you have different options. Just showing you some of the stuff we can do. Let's go ahead and all stand up. We're going to put our hands on our thighs. Let's check. We'll put our hands on our thighs, and we're going to arch. Now, when I say arch, I don't mean back rounding. Some people think that it's the opposite. Arching for me is heart forward. We're going to bend our elbows a little bit or straighten them. Actually, straighten them here. But we're going to do a cat-cow kind of standing. Inhaling, arching, exhaling, rounding up. Inhale, opening, pressing your heart forward, your tail up. Exhale, rounding. Maybe you hear that breath. We call it Ujjayi breath or Darth Vader breath on your exhale. One more time. Inhale, opening this way. Exhale, rounding, drawing up. We're going to uncurl all the way up now. Stretching hands overhead. Inhale up. Stretching those hands overhead. Do a little side stretch. Got my hands clasped. You can clasp yours too. Inhaling up, exhaling over. For stability, you might want to have your feet hip distance apart. It's a greater stretch if they're together. Moving with your breath, letting it lead you. You're going to change the clasp of your hands, and we'll do each side again. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, over. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, over. And bring the arms down, some shoulder rolls. We're going to bring the hands behind us. If you can clasp them here, tail down, opening up, that's great. You can either leave them here, or if you can't clasp them, leave them at your sides. If you are good with the clasp, we're going to bring them over to one side, like this. So inhaling, exhaling, ear over the elbow that's bent, lengthening that side of the neck, releasing tension. And here, those of us that have our arm out are going to release the arm down. Some people will have just left it right here if that's more comfortable. That's okay. This is just providing a little bit of an anchoring for the shoulder. And inhale, stretching into it. Exhale, releasing tension. Releasing the head around and down. Inhaling up. Again, we clasp and stretch. Exhaling, we clasp and stretch. Try clasping the opposite way. Opening. Exhaling, hands over to the side. Chin in, tall to the crown of the head. Ear over that elbow. Releasing tension in the side of the neck. Move the head around to get just the right stretch for you on the side of the neck. Release the arms. Release the head around and down. And inhaling up. Let's go ahead and tuck that chin in. A lot of us have our head a little forward, so we're going to tuck that chin in and then continue to tuck it down as we start to round down. Inhaling into the upper back and neck, wherever you feel tension, maybe widening your feet for stability. Hip distance apart is where I'm at. I'm going to just keep breathing into any tight areas I feel. Exhale, releasing them. And as I release them, I can roll down a little bit more, bending my knees. Inhale, stretching my breath into my back. Exhale, releasing tension. It's like your breath goes in, like fingers weaving through the muscles, stretching through, and then letting go on your exhales. Inhale at your own pace. Exhales, releasing tension. We just slowly stretch out all of our back muscles. Let your neck and shoulders be heavy. Belly is in to support the process. Knees are bent to protect the low back. You're going to roll all the way down until you touch the ground. And then you can start lifting your butt up, straightening your legs, and you'll feel a stretch in your legs. Inhale partway up, and then exhale back down. Do this at your own pace. Inhaling that butt up to stretch the legs, maybe lifting partway up to make it easier to breathe. And then exhaling, coming down, deep bend in your knees, butt comes down. So when the butt comes down, we're stretching the low back. And then when it comes up, we're stretching the hamstrings, the legs. Do this a few more times at your own pace or until you feel like you really need to uncurl up. I'm going to shake out any tension of my neck and shoulders like a rag doll. And I'm going to bend my knees very deeply, butt down, belly in to support uncurling up. Inhaling as I get partway up. So we did that kind of intense style. I'm going to inhale, stretch with clasped hands. And then exhale, tuck the chin. We'll do this just with one exhale, moving more fluidly through the movement now. Touching the ground, looking up as you inhale, butt down, belly in, exhale, uncurling all the way up, inhaling towards the top. So we've stretched our back, we've stretched our sides. I'm gonna get another drink of tea. Normally I'm not coughing, just so you know. They moved a bunch of plants around yesterday, and I think maybe there's something in the air here at the wellness studio. But it's great, it's beautiful. And we're gonna stretch out our front now. So again, you can have feet together or hip distance apart for stability. We're gonna work on keeping that tail down, especially if you're like me and your pelvis wants to tilt forward. We're gonna keep the arch out of our low back as much as possible. Squeezing the glutes will help with that. We're gonna inhale, looking up at the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, tail down, look up, heart reaches towards the ceiling now. And exhale down. Now, if your neck felt a little vulnerable when you did that, you might want to support the head, bringing the chin in, thumbs here behind the base of the skull. And then when we do our back bends, you can support your head weight as you look up. My low back is kind of pinchy sometimes. So I'm going to just massage that out, squeeze those glutes, tail down, and inhale, little back bend, stretching out the front and sides of my neck. Keep breathing. In fact, you can do an exaggerated yes, where whether you're using the hands or not, you're inhaling and exhaling. All right. But sometimes in life, you got to be able to say no. So we're going to keep that chin in and exaggerate the no. Move with your breath. Inhaling back to center, chin in, tall to the crown of the head as you exhale, and then over to one side. Chin in, tall to the crown of the head. Exaggerated no. And again, once we've done that, slower, we can move a little more quickly to check it out. Shoulders rolling back and down. Okay, so how about some tapping? Tapping, massaging wakes up the whole body before we get into our more active things. A lot of people like to tap their thymus gland right now. I use an open hand. Some people use a fist for their tapping, whatever feels best for you. You can tap or massage, warm up your shoulders, maybe stretch like this. It's a good stretch for the outer arm, and you can tap your back, getting your lungs woken up back there. Oh, no reason to fear. Just taking good care of ourselves, opening everything up. I want to tap the armpits, the lymph nodes there. Can sometimes use some help. The lymphatic system is passive, so this massaging and this tapping in conjunction with your circulatory system helps that lymph move improving your immune system function, warming everything up. Then we're moving it. How's it feel? How's your neck feel? Some gentle circles, maybe trying to keep that chin in. Circles in each direction. We did those shoulder circles before. If you feel like your shoulders are coming forward, like mine are a little, because I was sleeping on my side like a silly goose last night, you can always use a door frame or a wall. Inhale, stretching open the pec minor here. Exhale, releasing tension. That feels so good. I'm going to do the other side. And there's more we can do with the wall. We can move our arms up and down and do all kinds of other things. But this is just a short little example, releasing tension. Self-massage is really important. So when I'm doing that, you couldn't see me on that side, but I felt tension over here, felt tension everywhere. And massage really helps me release that tension, get that shoulder back and down. All right, so we'll do some arms, preparing for our cat-cow. Notice that my elbows are coming back. Maybe we'll practice this more kneeling. But in our yoga presses, our elbows come straight back, tucked into the body like this. Exhaling, we let them go. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, we let them go. Let's anchor our hips forward, feet hip distance apart. Maybe a slight bend in the knee, tail's definitely down. And we're going to twist at the waist. Notice my hips are staying forward. We're going to lengthen. You can close your eyes, stretching your tail down, chin in, tall to the crown of the head. Breathing deeply. And with your eyes closed, visualize your vertebrae. Lots of space between them, moving freely side to side. You can scan up through your middle back, up through your upper back, up through your neck. I feel like this practice is very centering for me and a lot of people because it reminds me to take a step back, literally leaning back a little bit physiologically, because I tend to be like chomping at the bit at life, leaning forward, my head's forward, and it feels good to come back to center, chin in, tall through the crown of the head, tail down. We can do some hip circles. Again, that self-massage. If you have any low back issues or any hip flexor issues, you can go really slow here, pausing and just breathing into them, releasing them, warming up before our sun salutations. I'm 42 now, and I didn't used to need to warm up so much before my sun salutations in my 20s and 30s, but 40s, 50s might help to do some warming up before the sun salutations. Those 20-somethings can probably warm up with the sun salutations. But for me, I like to warm up beforehand. And again, we're going to rock those feet. If you have a foam roller or something you can roll your foot on, maybe a tennis ball, that's great. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Like this. Very, very good. Therapeutic for plantar fasciitis, preventative also for plantar fasciitis, which is where you get real tight muscles here in the arches because they're falling down because they're not supported by our shoes. So buy good shoes. There is a shoe place in Iowa at North Park Mall in Davenport that's open. Kaylee and I went there what was it? It was earlier this week. I highly recommend that place. They were so nice. Great deals, great shoes, great arch support. Anyway, however you need to this morning, take care of your feet. Make sure that you have stretched your toes out wide and you're making full contact. Arches stay lifted, but the sides of the heel, the sides of the ball of the foot are coming completely down. Rocking from side to side will help you create that contact. Yes, everyone, Iowa is not quite on lockdown the way Illinois is. So if you need to get yourself some shoes or something, just go across the state line. They do have shoe stores open here, but you can't try stuff on. And so I tried that. I shopped local, bought some flip-flops, had to try them on later. They didn't fit. And now I've spent $25 on shoes that don't fit me quite right. So then I went to Iowa and I could try shoes on. It was great. All right. So we will begin our sun salutations now. I'm going to move this back so see me pretty well. I'm headless. Now, there's a blanket on my mat. I'm not sure how that'll work with my down dog and everything because we're doing some therapeutic yoga yesterday. Our Zoom classes tend to involve a lot of yoga therapy, as well as some advanced challenges, but it's for all levels. Let me get my bolster. It's off. Okay. You're going to start in mountain, just like we were starting in our seated pose. We're going to get in touch with our breath, centering with our breath one more time. And not the last time either, but resetting after all that talking and joint mobilization, feet hip distance apart. Just like when we were sitting, you want to find the best possible posture and then do it with less effort. And that's actually true for all yoga poses. And this is a yoga pose. Standing is called mountain. So make it an active, dynamic pose where you are really working on your alignment, stretching your toes out, pressing through the points of contact on your feet. The arches remain lifted, but the rest presses downward. You can do floating knees. You can feel like your knees are lifting up one at a time or both at the same time. The knees lift up, the tail goes down, shoulders up and back and down, chin in tall to the crown of the head. Maybe turn the thumbs open a little bit. It'll help open your shoulders. And once you've found your best mountain posture for right now, then do it with less effort. Remember how we relaxed everything so that you could breathe into that spaciousness afforded by letting go unnecessary tightness and restrictions. I feel like as a people right now, we're breathing through some unnecessary restrictions. We just need to let the fear go, let the tension go. Exhale everything out. Feel that abdominal drawing up. And then inhale, stretching out. Toes stretch, pelvic floor stretches. Everything stretches. Exhale, we hinge at the hips. Let's come halfway down, stretch. Exhale the rest of the way down. You can touch the ground and step the right foot back as far as is comfortable for you. Some people will be in a rather high warrior one like this, and that's okay. Some people will be further back with their heel up. That's okay too. Once you get stabilized, you can work on your arms as you breathe. Inhaling, Karate Kid arms perhaps. Go up. Exhaling, you can have them come down like this or in towards you. So if I'm inhaling, Karate Kid arms go out. Exhaling, they come back in, whether I'm going up or out. Go with your own breath. I like to do these arms too, tail down. Oh, exhaling them down this way. Now we're going to come onto our knee. So you can use some blocks if you like blocks. And we're going to just stretch out here. Not spending too much time, but notice my knee is back. I'm getting a hip flexor stretch. And then I can reach back and get a hamstring stretch. Reaching the heart up over the toes, exhale, hinging at the hips. I can do some more circles here with my toes, warming up my ankles some more. And my regular students can do all kinds of stuff from that pose. We sometimes go off in different directions. Um, for for those who want to, they can keep doing stuff there. The rest of us are going to learn how to do some yoga presses. So while my regular students are enjoying their runner's lunge or lizard, all kinds of stuff, I want to show you how to do a yoga press. And again, my regular students know how to do this, so they can ignore this. But for my new students, this is a regular plank, right? And if you were to try to lower down here, there's just not much room. It's hard. Your elbows kind of have to go out. Where else are they going to go, right? So what we're going to do is put our knees down, maybe cross our ankles. That helps get our hips down. We're going to take our hands back further. Take your hands back to like here. So now, you can inhale up, exhale, lowering down. See how my arms are able to come to more of a 90-degree angle? That's what we want. We want those arms to come to a 90-degree angle and stay tucked in. And you can do that from a regular plank if you use your curled under toes correctly. So I've got my toes curled under, and I can inhale and then push myself with my toes forward, and that helps me get my hands far enough back that I can come down like this. All right, does that make sense? So we're all going to do that. Inhaling up to plank, exhale, push the toes and lower down to a gentle cobra. Our baby cobra is tail tucked, elbows up, heart lifts, chin is neutral. Breathe. Smile. You can lower your forehead to the ground. And then on this next one, we're going to brush the nose, and then the heart will lift, and we're going to squeeze, shoulder blades squeeze towards each other and down the back, tail tucks. You can lift the toes up if you want to. You can lift the elbows up if you want to. You can lift, or you can relax your neck, shaking your head, relaxing your neck. You can lift everything up as high as you want to. Exhaling, lower a little bit. Inhale one more time. Squeeze everything up. And then exhale. Your hands wherever you're comfortable, wherever you can tuck that tail and your low back is comfortable, you can land your hands. Make sure your shoulders are still back and down. Heart is lifted, stretching through the front of the body. And notice I'm not going to bring my chin way up. Some people do that, but for me, it's better to keep that chin in. And for a lot of people, it is. All right, we're going to lower down now. And we can turn to one side, relax, breathing into your back. Your lung capacity expands around your whole torso, back and side. So go ahead and stretch the back of your lung capacity out. Back and sides. You can turn your other cheek to the floor. And do that again. Deep breathing. Maybe wait for it and then support it. Maybe you even feel that energetic stretch like we did in the beginning across your low back and other areas where you don't even have lungs expanding. You can just feel that energetic stretch expanding on your inhale, contracting on your exhale. Okay, then we're going to place our hands, curl our toes, push up and back to child's pose. Enjoy your child's pose. You can shift your hips from side to side. If you need to put your forearms under your forehead, you can. You're trying to reach the forehead to something, whether it's a block or forearms or the ground, so that you can rest. The toes are curled under right now. We're going to reach the hands forward, kind of walking them, and then we'll press up to down dog. You can walk your dog, bending one knee at a time. I'm going to try to come up a little forward here so you can see me. I like to bend opposite elbow and knee, actually. and then press way back. Your heart reaches towards your ankles. Your tail reaches towards the ceiling. Get up on the balls of your feet, and then let your heels gently come back down. So your two lines here, your one line stretching from your hands through a nice flat back, through your tail. That's one diagonal line. And the other line is your legs. Releasing as you lengthen those legs. Energy shooting in opposite directions. We'll inhale looking up. Bend your elbows towards the ground. Pull that belly in. And you can try this both on an inhale or an exhale. But the idea is maybe inhale, stretch, exhale, pull everything in, and hop towards the front as lightly as possible. Lengthening out to traction out your spine, and then hanging down. Notice my feet are hip distance apart for stability. Butt down, belly in, uncurling all the way up. Oh, nice stretch. Okay, so hopefully you're still with me. We're going to do the other side. You can ground yourself in mountain. And when I say ground yourself, I just mean like settling back into your breath, reconnecting with your spirit. Sometimes it helps to imagine you're a tree and your feet have roots growing into the earth. You can do some tree branch breaths, imagining your arms are like the branches of the tree, stretching out. One more time. And after this stretch, we're going to swan dive down, hinging at the hips. Lift halfway up on your inhale, and then exhaling, your hands slide down. And remember, you can put your foot back just a little bit, and you can come to a little warrior, or you can put your foot way back and leave your heel up and come to a deeper warrior. What you're looking for is stability. Notice if you look at my feet, they're not in a line. There's still a hip width between them. If you're on a balance beam, this will be harder. From the waist up, I'm still in mountain, tail down. It's like I'm just standing here, just that my legs are doing this funny thing. And I can add the arms whenever I'm ready. I could do my arms behind me. I could do humble warrior. There's lots of things you can do once your legs are set up. Your legs are your foundation, your base, and your torso is really free. You can twist and do whatever you want. Once your legs give you the stability to do so. So we're going to come down. If you want to use blocks, you can use blocks here. We're going to come down to knee down runner's lunge. And just like on the other side, we can put our tail down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale here. I was telling you that my regular students do lots of different things. We do some twisting here. We do a lizard stretch after our hamstring stretch, reaching our heart up past our toes. Exhale, hinging at the hips, releasing tension in the leg. So if you want to add those moves, you can. But since this is kind of a beginner video, I'm just going to keep it simple. Maybe the blocks help you get that right foot back. We're going to do more of that yoga push-up. So I'm wondering if my camera will be able to see everything I do. This is called knees, chest, and shin, what I'm about to do. And I have to have my hands back a little further. So make sure your hands are back far enough, still in close to your body, so your elbows stay close, arms stay close to your body. I'm going to curl my toes under. My knees are back pretty far, kind of like that yoga push-up we had where we had crossed our ankles. My knees are back like that, but this time my toes are curled under because knees, chest, and shin is where your knees, your toes curl under like this, and your chest and your chin come down. So now all I have to do is bend those elbows, keeping them tucked into my sides, reach my chest and chin down, and then I can push up to a cobra. And you probably can't see me, I can't see you. But I'll do that again. I'll put the laptop over here. Maybe all of you can practice a few times if you're new to knees, chest, and shin. Okay, so see, I was here. Knees come down. Need to make sure my hands are far enough back. I'm inhaling, pushing up. Exhale. Knees, chest, and chin. And then as I exhale again, I push up to a low cobra. See how that's just perfect? Almost. And I'm going to slide my hands underneath. Give myself a sphinx position. Elbows right underneath my shoulder. Shoulders go back and down. Tails down. Inhale, enjoying the stretch. It is a little bit of work on my exhales and inhales to work those shoulders back. They want to round forward like this. I'm working on opening the shoulders back. It helps to keep the elbows tucked in. Tail tucked down. I'm going to come down here and work on my locust. Hopefully, yeah, great. You can see my legs. Okay, so for those of you like me who have your toes want to go out, first of all, let's get situated on our legs so that our toes are in. We're just going to rest here for a moment. You can go to whatever side is comfortable. For me, it's looking to the left. We're just going to relax here with our toes in, elbows out. That'll help a little bit. And then we'll come back to toes down, knees down. Feel your hip points. I notice that my right, can you see my hands are right underneath my hip points? I notice my right hip point is closer to the ground than my left hip point. It's also higher up towards my head, and that's common, at least the forward part. I don't know about the high up towards my head. I deal with a little bit of mild scoliosis, and that's probably why my right hip is higher. The chiropractors can tell you lots of people have this kind of thing. So in order to work on that, first I'm going to stretch my right leg down, trying to get that hip down a little bit. And then we're going to do locust one side at a time. So we're going to curl our toes underneath. And if you need to, pelvic floor pulls in first for those of us who need to take special care of our pelvic floor. So pelvic floor pulls in, toes curl underneath us. And then notice what happens if you lift just the left heel up. Notice that right hip goes up into the body. And it only works if that right leg is working hard to stay active. If that right leg is staying up, even though the toes are curled under, it's going to have to work to do that. And with the left foot up in the air, it'll draw the right hip up. So we'll lower down, relax for a moment. And then inhale, we'll come back to our position. So this time I'm going to keep my right or left toes curled underneath me, and I'm going to lift my right heel up. And so this is actually going to draw the left hip point up and in if I keep that left leg active. When I'm done, I'm going to just relax, and I'm going to notice if I feel any changes. I still feel like my right hip is a little forward, so I'm going to do it a second time on that side. Pelvic floor in, toes curled under, lifting both legs off the ground, and then lifting the left heel up on the ground to help neutralize my right hip. Squeezing those glutes. So if, like me, you have an anterior pelvic tilt and a little over curving, pinching here in your low back, it's good to stretch out the hip flexors, and that's done naturally when we squeeze the glutes. So if we get strong buttocks, that will help us in our back. And we get strong buttocks by doing our locust, lifting the legs one at a time. And you can see if you can point the toes, see if that helps. You can see if you can lift one leg higher than the other. Probably many of you can lift your legs higher than I can. This has always been something I've been working on, but it is getting better, honestly. Squeezing those glutes, lifting those. This is like a swimmer kick.
So if you're good at your swimmer kick, holding on to a kickboard, you can fly across the pool. This is probably easy for you. You can probably get your legs up really high. This is something I am working on. If you want to challenge it and add the arms, you can. That's also new for me. Let's see, I'm going to try to do opposite leg and arm. But we're all growing in our own speed in different areas, right? This is where I'm at right now. And then I'm going to push myself back to child's pose. Stretch out that low back in case it got any pinching going on in that locus. And I like to have my knees all the way together. Some people like to have their knees farther apart, helps them get down in their child's pose. Knees together just feels good on my low back when I'm stretching it out after something like locust. And then I feel like coming up into dolphin. So dolphin is where you're on your forearms, and the forearms are hip or shoulder distance apart, so you can clasp your hands and find that distance. And then just coming up, kind of like a down dog, only you're on your forearms instead of your hands. Belly pulls up and in. In fact, you can strengthen the belly, the arms, let the neck be relaxed, but notice as I'm rocking up higher on my toes and back, there's different things happening. So as I'm rocking back, I can feel a stretch in my shoulders. That feels good. As I come up on my toes, my belly's pulling up and under and doing a lot of work. We can do some dolphin scissors here, even knee to the ceiling to get a nice stretch. Regular dolphin, and maybe even some dolphin kicks. Maybe you even want to leave the ground a little bit. Try that both on both sides. See, it starts off so gentle, and then I'll give you little challenges. First, we got to support ourselves, support our health and healing. And then we can challenge ourselves. I'm going to do one more. That was cool. Okay. Coming back down to child's pose, resting those shoulders. Breathing deeply into your whole self. Then we'll come up to down dog. So today's is just kind of a sharing of my practice, sampling of different parts of my teaching practice, as well as my personal yoga practice. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help you create your own personal yoga plan, which would be based on your body. Like I've got, it's like, not slight, who's kidding? Am I kidding? I've got a pretty moderate anterior pelvic tilt and different, mild scoliosis, different things I'm working on. What are you working on? Do you have rotator cuff issues, hip issues, knee issues? Let me know. Reach out to me and we can work on creating a personal yoga plan that will help you resolve those issues, heal those issues. When you're ready, you're going to look up at your hands and you're going to hop like a little ninja, very lightly, hopping the butt up and the feet will follow. It doesn't matter if you only hop to here. Just hop up and forward as much as is comfortable for you. And then you're going to drag your hands back to meet your feet wherever they landed. Straighten out your legs. Inhale to traction your spine, stretching. And exhale, hanging down, releasing the neck. Maybe this time we're actually going to put the hands underneath the feet. That feels kind of funny, right? When you pull up from it, you get a weird stretch in your shoulders. It's interesting. Okay, and releasing the hands. Inhale and then exhale, butt down, belly in, uncurling all the way up. Stretch when you get to the top. Any kind of stretch you want. Side stretches, round the world torso stretches, whatever feels good. All right, so let's check the time. Oh my gosh, I just love my yoga and I just lose track of the time. So it's 10:08. We've been live streaming for almost an hour. We did our warrior one. I guess we will skip the warrior two, reverse warrior, side angle kind of thing for today, unless you want to just do it really, really quickly. I tell you what, I'll just kind of show you what my flow looks like and try to cue it really quickly before we come into balance and restorative. So I'll be standing here, toes together, and I'll inhale, stretch. You know what? I feel like I'm rushing too much. Exhale everything out. Good. Okay, now we can inhale, stretch. Exhale, swan dive. Right foot back. Inhale up through warrior one to warrior two. Inhale up. Exhale, turn and look over your hand. Inhale, looking back to center and reach. Right hand slides down the leg, left hand up and over into reverse warrior. Inhaling into side angle, reaching through the left ribs, long on both sides of the torso. Stretch. And as I exhale, I'm going to sink lower. I use the block in front of my knee here, opening it up in a hot triangle. Exhale, releasing tension. I'm going to do a twist here, lengthening. I want to come down on this part of my block, lengthening through my spine, twisting open, belly in. On the exhale, allowing space for the twist. Never forcing a twist, just allowing. A nice long spine. And turn and look up. Releasing tension. And I go back to plank and chaturanga. You can come to knees, chest, and shin, or a baby cobra if that's more comfortable for you. And by baby, I just mean a little one, not that you're a baby. Inhaling long, exhaling, coming down, and up to some kind of cobra, maybe low, maybe high, up to you. Tail down, protecting that low back, enjoying the glorious stretch in the front body. Back to down dog. To save time, I'm going to look up and just step my right foot up, and that will get me up into warrior one and warrior two. Inhale, lift, exhale, sink. Inhale, stretch. Oh, I didn't do reverse warrior. Okay, so for warrior two, torso is straight up and down. Chin and toggle the crown of the head, turning and looking. Nothing is coming at us though. Nothing from behind either. We are at peace, so we can go in to our reverse warrior, maybe even a peaceful warrior. And then we reach. I used to skip the reverse warrior completely, so my autopilot wants to go straight into side angle, which is okay for a quick sun salutation, just kind of breathing through. I like to lengthen both sides of the torso, turning and looking under my arm. I'll go into hot triangle. Exhale, sinking in. Now sometimes we will stay here for 5 breaths. Today we're starting to run out of time though, so I'll do one more breath. And then I'm going to turn into my twist. I move my block from up high to this position just because that supports me right. So I have a nice long torso and spine, and I can enjoy this twist. Make sure you're enjoying. No gripping, no tensing, only smiling and breathing, doing the pose with less effort so you can get more benefit out of it.
Okay. Last time I said I was going to chaturanga, but I didn't. I'm going to chaturanga this time. Inhale nice and long. Exhale, lowering down, and then inhaling up to up dog. You do what's right for you. Exhaling down dog. I've been shifting my hips while I'm in my down dog. The left one's been tight, so I'm shifting over to my right. You can do what's right for you. And in fact, you know what? Who cares what time it is, right? I don't care what time it is. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a wild thing here for those of you who are interested. So if you want to do some type of side plank here, the easiest one will be to put your left knee down and then rotate your left knee out and come to a nice open supported side plank. You can stretch your arm, you can lift that leg up, make it more of a balance. This will be our balance for today. How about that? So that's option A. You can stay with that. You can take a break in child's pose, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do wild thing, also sometimes called flip the dog. We're going to take this right foot over behind you, and then voila, we have wild thing. And then I'm going to thread the needle with my legs. So the right knee comes in and up and then over to the side. See how it just went right through my torso here? And I can open up this way. Oh, that feels glorious. I hope you like it. If you don't, no worries. You can hang out in other poses. I can't even see you. You can completely ignore me. So before doing that on the other side, I'm going to put my knees down and I'm going to do a little bit of cat-cow. Inhaling, exhaling, drawing up and in. Inhaling, exhaling. Maybe some side cat-cow. Inhaling to tabletop position. Exhaling, squeezing one side. Call it puppy wags the tail when we look over our shoulder. But really, we are just looking to make sure both sides of our torso squeeze equally. We have full range of motion. With my mild scoliosis that I mentioned, my right side wants to squeeze more than my left. So I'm going to go ahead and do like a table balance, putting my right leg out behind me. And then I'm going to take it across like this, over to the other side. I'm going to bring my left elbow down. And I can stretch my side like this. That way my right side gets a super stretch. My left side gets a super squeeze. And to go even further, I'm going to put my elbow on the ground, my right elbow on the ground, take my hand and put it on my shoulder and give myself a tricep stretch. It's also stretching out your lats. If you have some tightness in your back, that will access that. So we might as well do it on the other side, right? It's inhaling that leg out, pointing the toe, crossing it over the other leg. I'm going to bring the right elbow down now. The left arm comes out. So you see how this will stretch the side body really nicely. But I'm going to go beyond that, and I'm going to bend, put the elbow on the ground and bend to where the hand comes over my shoulder blade. And I'm going to situate myself in a position where I can get a good tricep stretch. Okay, that was lovely. Now we're going to do our side plank on the other side. So we're here in tabletop already. If you're taking the easier version, or if you just want to do both, you can bring that right leg out perpendicular from your body, and then you're set up here in your side plank. And you can enjoy the stretch, do what you want to with your arm. You can even lift that left leg up. So this feels very good. You can do like angel arms, kind of a stretch here. It's nice.
But if you want even more of a challenge, you can come back to your plank. You can bend that left knee and then put the left ball of the foot behind you, opening up to Wild Thing. And then you put your hands back down and you thread that leg through. So again, you're bending the knee and you're threading that leg through and opening up in the other direction. Definitely not easy, at least not for me. If you want to get a little bit more ab workout here, you do active moving dog. That's where you would bring your knee forward and then up and back in some type of down dog scissors. And every time you do, you notice you're working your belly. You can even do knee to one elbow and then back, and then knee to the other elbow and then to the ceiling. Feels kind of good, right? Notice what your belly is doing. Don't be pushing it out. Pull it in. Do the other side. And if your wrists get tired, you can do this in dolphin. So you can put your forearms down. I wonder how much you can see me. But you can put your forearms down and you can do knee up and in, knee up and in. You're getting that belly stretch. In fact, in dolphin, you can come to like a dolphin plank and then butt up. And you're getting that beautiful arm workout, belly workout, whole body workout. Which is going to help us relax in 5 minutes, right? Help us in our Shavasana, final relaxation. Maybe one more child's pose for the day. Great stretch. And then we are going to come on to our butts and our backs for restorative time. If you're watching and enjoying these videos, please reach out to me. Let me know I'm not just talking to myself here. All right, once you're on your butt, let's see. That's good. Gonna lift up, exhale, roll down, and stretch out. Stretch out like a snow angel, arms and legs. You can stretch. This is my weight now. Okay, stretch, 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 stretch. For those of us who are in the yoga therapy class, I keep changing the name of it. I think it's advertised right now as online yoga, all levels, online interactive yoga. Yesterday we were doing this pose where we had our legs spread out like this while we're sitting up. Notice you can do things here while you're on your back that are much more comfortable. In fact, we can rotate our hips by just turning our toes in, one side at a time. Both sides is fine. So you can turn the toes in, swing the legs in. That should feel pretty therapeutic for us. And we're going to bring the feet flat, closer to our butt. And we can bring our low back flat. That feels good. Arms out. I did this one yesterday. I like it a lot. So inhale, fingers and thumbs to the ground. Exhale, make a gentle fist, and then curl that fist up off the ground, keeping the forearms on the ground. Notice any restrictions and breathe through them. So on your inhales, you stretch the hand, and on your exhales, you pull it in. All right, then we're going to hug our knees, lift our legs up, and do the same thing. So on our inhales, we're going to stretch our toes. And then on our exhales, we can pull the knees in, point the toes. So inhale, legs out, toes spread wide. Exhale, knees in. And then if you want more of an ab workout, you can always bring those legs a little bit more down. So you're inhale, stretching the toes out, making sure you're not everting, or right on it. Maybe that's inverting. I don't know. You don't want your ankles to roll. You want to keep those toes out. And then bring it in. Do some ankle circles here. And it's time to twist. So for today, just a basic, easy knees up high here, left hand on the outside of the right knee, and the knees both come over. You can lengthen through your spine, turn and look over your other arm. And you can put the palm down if that helps you feel more comfortable. Play with it. See if you like the hand up, or palm down. Turn that palm up. You can even experience your angel arms range of motion. Exhaling the arm down, inhaling it up. And then we can hug the knees again, maybe some little knee circles, both directions before going the other side. Right hand on the outside of the left knee. The knees come down. Oops, what do I got there? All right. And the other arm goes out. Again, you can inhale and exhale. Breathing deeply, relaxing tension, however is easiest and best for you. Before we come back up. Now we're going to have the feet wide, knee in. Make sure your knee feels comfortable. Make sure your hips feel comfortable. You can move your foot around anywhere you want to so that this feels good for you. I like to do one side at a time before doing both sides at the same time. I'm feeling that restriction, only in the left hip right now for some reason. So I'm going to do twice on the left side before doing both knees together. And I'm going to breathe, sending my prana stretching through on my inhale. Exhale, releasing tension and restrictions where I find them. One more time, inhale, stretching. Exhale, releasing. And I'll bring both the knees in. A real passive stretch here. Let's bring our arms up, palms together, and just bring a shoulder down one at a time. And the shoulders down, planting them firmly in the ground. You can place your hand on your heart, breathe in deeply. That should feel good. Grateful for our breath, grateful for our heart beating, grateful for everything we have. Friends, immune system, good weather. I'm going to walk the feet hip distance apart, the knees come up, the arms come down, and just a little pelvic rocking, inhaling up onto the tail, exhaling, rounding, so that low back presses down. We're tilting the pelvis back now. So inhaling, you can tilt it forward, and exhaling, you're tilting it back. Inhale to neutral, and then exhale again, tilting it back, squeezing the glutes, lifting up in a little bridge. Keeping that tilt as you come down one vertebrae at a time. It should feel nice on your low back to do that. Let's get ready for Shavasana. So depending on what you want to do, if you wanted to go straight into Shavasana with your feet flat on the ground like this, you can push yourself towards the wall behind your head. That'll slide your shoulder blades down your back. Then you'd lift up your hips and you would lower your low back down with that pelvic tilt, one vertebrae at a time, to get your low back nice and flat. From that point, you could get your legs down. Or if you like to have a slight inversion at the end of your practice, you can do that same process, only putting your legs up on a chair, or you can bring yourself over to a wall. And how you would get your legs up the wall is you would get on your side with your butt up to the wall, and then you would rotate to where your legs go up the wall. That's kind of a nice way to do your Shavasana, letting the blood flow from the feet to the head and also the lymphatic system, detoxifying with that change in gravity. Find some way to relax in Shavasana. There's all kinds of different restorative poses you can do using a bolster, using blankets. I think what I'm going to do today is just use this folded blanket I have over here and put it under my hips. There we go. Nice little passive lift of my hips. So I'm making sure that I don't have an arch in my low back. I do. Actually, I tell you what, I'll go through the whole process again. With the feet up, I'm going to make sure my shoulders are back and down, shoulders away from the ears. I'll go ahead and turn my head side to side, make sure my neck is relaxed. And I would either keep my knees together here, or because I am supporting myself with this blanket, I can go ahead and carefully bring my legs out one at a time, enjoying that stretch from my restoration. Restoration and relaxation time is where we just consciously relax everything. Breathing into the spaciousness we've created through our practice. And let your breath feel like a wave. On your inhale, send that wave of relaxation down to your toes. And your inhales, feel the wave come up. It's going in correlation with your diaphragm, your diaphragmatic breath. So as you inhale, that diaphragm goes down. The wave of energy goes down. Exhaling, it comes back up. Ride the wave of bliss and beauty in your yoga, restorative relaxation practice. Relax as deeply as you can. On one hand, you're letting your body sink into the floor. No muscles need to be engaged at this time, so you can take a break from adulting. You don't have to do anything. You can just be fully supported by the floor. As you let your body be heavy and fully supported by the floor, you'll feel muscles relax. You no longer need to hold yourself up. The floor's got you. Maybe even the floor and wall if you've got your legs up it. Or the floor and chair. But on the other hand, you're feeling light because since you don't have to be holding any tension in any of your muscles, you don't have to support anything. You actually feel lighter. In fact, you are light, and you can visualize that. Not just light as in the polar opposite of heavy, but light as in the opposite of darkness. So all darkness is the absence of light. All coldness is the absence of heat. And you are heat and light. You have both in you. Powered by prana. Breathe it in. Let that prana restore you and heal you. Rejuvenate. Reset. Restarting your circulatory system, resetting your nervous system, rejuvenating your lymphatic system. Can't think of a good word, but re-deepening your breathing system. Respiratory system, that's what it's called. Revitalizing your smile system. Just seriously feel good, filled with light. Feel yourself glowing on your mat. Now, obviously, you can stay here as long as you like. Again, I can't even see you. And I encourage you to do this, 3 times a day. Why not, right? I mean, if you've got the time. If you can get yourself to lay in bed a little longer in the morning, like someone has to twist your arm for that, right? You can lay in bed and you can fill yourself with light, energizing yourself for the day. Midday, you can take a break. Don't even have to do the yoga practice first. Just lay down and restore yourself. Re-energize yourself for the rest of your day. And at night, when you lay down to bed, you can restore and heal yourself. And if you sleep like this, you won't wake up all kinked up like I did this morning, right? Having to open my shoulders because I was laying on my side. So I'm going to join you in doing this. My goal is going to be to do this 3 times a day. Doesn't take very long. It's just stretch out and lay down. Fill yourself up with light, healing your immune system, strengthening yourself so that you can go out into the world fully healed, ready to share that health and healing with others. If you're ready now, you can start to stretch or wiggle fingers and toes. Try to keep that sensation of the light, though. Keep your internal awareness on. Continue to see yourself as light as you start to move, squeeze, hug your knees. You can roll on to a side and back up if you want. You can take another moment of relaxation on your side if you choose to, before coming all the way back up to sitting. Now we started by sitting in a chair. And now I'm sitting on the ground because my hips are stretched out and it feels better.
You can go back to sitting in a chair if you want to. I want you to just scan through your body, returning to where you were at physically in the beginning in terms of the same position. Noticing how you feel. As you're more connected with your inner self now, you'll find that it's automatic to make any shifts, stretches, adjustments that are beneficial for you. And this is the type of interconnectedness that will help you return to the ideal weight, whatever that is for you. Because when you're in this space, when you're connected with yourself, you only want to put good things in. When you're in this space, you won't harm yourself because you're connected with yourself. Ahimsa, I believe, is the first yama, the very first step of yoga. In classical yoga, there's 8 limbs. There's the yamas and the niyamas. And then there's the hatha yoga, the poses that we're doing today. And the yamas and the niyamas, I believe, start with ahimsa. The very first thing to do is compassion, non-harming, and being in this state that makes step number 1 of the 8 limbs very easy. When you're connected with yourself, you will not harm yourself. And you'll become more connected with others, and then you won't harm them either, because you'll see the connection between you and every living thing. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Hope to see you around.